The JoLynn Braley Show, Episode 50, How to Avoid Holiday Stress Eating. Get Real, Episode number 12. Hello and welcome. This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, founder of the Inner Self Diet, and this is the JoLynn Braley Show. Join me on today's show as I go beyond the food to the real issue. What is the real issue? Since most people do think the real issue is the food. You think that you're overweight because you can't stop eating. You think you're overweight because you're lazy. You think you're overweight because of what you eat or how much you eat or how often you eat. And yes, of course, all of those factors of how you eat and how you overeat and emotionally eat and binge eat and stuff yourself and obsess about food and use food to try to feel better, of course, those are reasons that you are overweight. But the real reason that you are in the state with your weight that you are is your mindset. You see, what you're seeing on the surface are your behaviors and your symptoms. Those behaviors are driven by your mindset. Your symptoms are your overweight and your overeating and your unhealthy behaviors. What makes weight loss very, very easy to do is a change in your mindset. What most people do, and if you're like most people, this is what you've always done also, is they chase new fad diets. They're always looking for a miracle cure for how to lose weight. And especially now, here we are in the holiday season, and today's topic is how to avoid holiday stress eating. What most people do is they stuff themselves and gain at least 10 to 20 pounds during this holiday season, and then on January 1st, they make a New Year's resolution to lose weight. That New Year's resolution only lasts for, at the most, 2 weeks for most people. There might be 1% of the population that can stick or makes themselves stick with that resolution to lose weight, but for the majority, they're not able to do it. Why is that? Why can't you just follow a food diet and do it? It's because of your mindset. Once you get a core solid weight loss mindset, then it's going to be easy for you to live a healthy lifestyle, which you already know is required if you want to lose weight and keep it off. Yes, there is no magic. It takes a dedication to change, it takes a willingness to change, and it takes living a healthy lifestyle consistently. If you're not doing that, then you know you have a mindset issue. If you know how to do it, if you already know how to live healthy and fit, if you know that you need to get regular exercise, if you know that you need to be putting food in your mouth only when you're hungry and stopping when you're physically full, if you already know that these foods over here are healthier than these foods over here, you already know all these things, but you're not doing it, that tells you you have a mindset problem. And the quickest and easiest way to get a weight loss mindset is simply to do the same steps that other people have already done before you, and they have succeeded. And those are the steps that I provide in my proven step-by-step system to struggle-free permanent weight loss, which is the Inner Self Diet. There is no open enrollment for the mass population to join the Inner Self Diet, since I do work personally with you in the Inner Self Diet to help you heal the root of whatever it is that is stopping you from losing weight permanently. So your first step to enroll in the Inner Self Diet, it all starts with a complimentary one-on-one weight loss discovery session to find out if or how I can even help you. Maybe I can't even help you. And the way that I would find out about that and learn more about you, hear from you what exactly your challenges are, and also hear from you the results that you would love to have, is by talking with you on the weight loss discovery session, which again is complimentary. You can apply for that at discovery-session.com. Okay, so today's topic is how to avoid holiday stress eating, and it is Get Real episode number 12 of the year. What is a Get Real episode? Well, at the beginning of the year, when I started the JoLynn Braley Show on iTunes, I stated that I would do at least one Get Real episode per month, which is what I've continued to do. And a Get Real episode is here to help you get even more real with yourself even quicker than the other episodes that come in between the Get Real episodes. So if you're not willing to really get honest with yourself and get real with yourself, you probably aren't going to like today's episode, because you're more comfortable staying in denial, and you're more comfortable blaming other people or blaming diets or blaming the fast food industry or the processed food industry or whatever it is you blame for your overeating and your overweight. Get Real episodes are here to help you get honest with yourself, which is where it all starts. No one and no thing outside of you can do the inner work that you need to do in order to release all of your food and weight struggles. It doesn't mean that you know how to do that inner work. That is what I help my clients with. But even my clients, of course, they have to do the steps that I give them to do. I can't do it for them because I'm not them. And I'm sure that you wouldn't want someone else to do for you what only you can do. Only you can think your thoughts. Only you can make your own decisions. Only you can learn how to truly 100% accept, adore, and like and love yourself, even right now in your overweight body. So what does all of this have to do with how to avoid holiday stress eating? Well, number one, if you are a holiday stress eater, the first point that I invite you to get real with yourself about is this. Is it really true that you only stress eat during the holidays? Or is the truth the fact that you have a problem with emotional eating, binge eating, stress eating, food abuse, food addiction, food obsessions? You have these problems throughout the entire year. The holiday season might magnify these issues for you because there is more to do, there is more food around, there are a lot of emotions that might come up for you during the holiday season. It's a charged time of year. There are so many expectations during the holiday season. If you're single, you might have the expectation that you shouldn't be. If you're married, you might have the expectation that your relationship should be better. If you have children, you might have the expectation that your whole family should be more united than it really is. During the holiday season, this is a time of year when you might see people in your family who you don't see throughout the rest of the year. And any kind of unresolved relationship issues that have been present all throughout the year and during the past years up until now, those issues that have never been resolved will come to the front during the holiday season because you're presented with these family members. So the stress eating can come as a result of the stress that you're feeling during the holiday season because of all of the expectations, the emotions that come up, the simple busyness of the holiday season, more so than possibly at other times of the year in your life. However, if you are stress eating during the holiday season, I guarantee you that you're not doing it only during the holiday season. You're also doing it throughout the rest of the year. It just might not be as extreme and it might not be as in your face because maybe you're able to be deeper in denial about it throughout the rest of the year. Here's something that you can look at right now to help yourself get even more real with yourself about how you ever got into the position that you're in right now with your overeating and your overweight. And that is to look at, how old is this problem really? Now, for my coaching clients I work with, and for myself, and more than likely for anyone out there who has a problem with overeating and overweight, these challenges did not just suddenly come about. In fact, as you go back in time right now, and you go back through your memories, and as you go all the way back to your first memories that you can find of when you were a very, very small child, and then come back up to the first memories you can find of the first time you remember having negative thoughts about your body, about your weight, about food. Maybe somebody told you that you were fat. Maybe someone said that you needed to go on a diet. Maybe someone said you were going to get fat if you didn't stop eating so much. You might not have even been overweight at that time. I wasn't when I was a 7-year-old little kid, and I thought I was fat. I remember it was summertime and I was wearing this little pair of red shorts, and I was sitting in the front seat of my parents' car, and I looked down at my thighs, and as for any person on the planet who has a human body, when you sit down, your thighs spread out. Well, I looked down at my thighs, and I was this small little kid, but I thought, oh, I'm fat. And I wasn't. But that is when I first started having the struggles with the topic of food and weight and the whole thing. Identify for yourself, though, how old were you when this whole problem started for you? And now that you have that age, which I'm sure it's very easy for you to see that and find it, simply subtract that age from your current age. Subtract that number from your current age. So if you were 10 and today you're 40, then what is 40 minus 10? 30, correct? That gives you the number of how many years you have been struggling with food and your weight. Now, if you just happen to be a 40-year-old who started struggling when you were 10, then you have a 30-year-old food and weight problem. Now, more than likely, you're not exactly 40, and the age that you were when you started struggling was not exactly 10, so you need to figure out your own math. But whatever number it is that you come up with, that is how old this problem is. So right there, first of all, that shows you that there's a reason why you have continued to struggle over and over and over again, and why you overeat and then you lose weight and then you go on another diet and then you look for another diet. So this is just one get real moment or get real exercise for you on today's call to help you get real about the fact that your holiday stress eating is not something that comes up just once a year. It's part of a bigger problem that has been brewing for a very long time, and the way to solve your holiday stress eating is to solve the root of the problem. So you need to go to the root of this whole thing, the whole problem, heal that, release that, make peace with that, whatever it is. And I don't know what that is for you because I'm recording this podcast for you right now. I'm not talking to you like I would a coaching client and mentoring you through the steps to release it. But what I do with my clients is we go to the root of the problem and heal it so that they can move on and then leave their struggles with the food and weight behind them. Because who wants to keep struggling? Why should you live like that? It's just not any fun, is it? It certainly doesn't make the holiday season fun either. And couldn't the holiday season be a beautiful time of year, a wonderful time of year, a fun time of year for you if you didn't have the stress eating, if you didn't have the emotional eating, the binge eating, stuffing yourself, obsessing, worrying about how you look, worrying, if I eat this, then I'm going to lose weight. How am I ever going to get this weight off? Why do I always overeat? well, I guess that I'll just make another New Year's resolution and lose weight, while in the back of your mind you already know that that's not going to help you because it never has. And if you ever have lost weight by making a New Year's resolution, you can look at how quickly you gained the weight back. So it wasn't a permanent solution, was it? And then maybe part of getting real with yourself is asking yourself, do you even want a permanent solution? Do you want to be done with this struggle? Is there any possibility that there's a part of you that enjoys the struggle and doesn't want to let it go? Maybe there's a part of you that thinks if you were to completely solve your food and weight problems, that then your marriage would fall apart. I do not know. I couldn't possibly know because I'm sitting here recording this podcast for you in my podcast, I guess you'd call it a podcast studio, and I don't know what your individual struggles and challenges are. I don't know what your limiting beliefs are. I don't know what your roadblocks are. I don't know what the root of your food and weight struggles are. I do know in general what it is for most people, and that it always starts when you're a kid and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. I have no idea though what exactly it is for you, and in general, one of the things that is just a general cause of food and weight struggles is the media. You know, you look at the pictures of models that are actually airbrushed in magazines, and then you compare yourself to those images, and you basically are setting yourself up for failure right away. That's just a very surface, general type of challenge or setup that many young girls can run into. It's not necessarily the deepest issue, but again, I couldn't even speculate on what that could be for you unless I was working with you as a coaching client. And really, what I help my coaching clients do is I give them the steps so that they get to the root of the problem themselves, because it's very important that they are in their own power and that they know how to do the steps to put them in their own power in the first place, so that they're able to maintain their weight loss mindset once they get that mindset. So, questions to ask yourself today on today's episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. These are get real questions to ask yourself. I highly recommend that you write these down, pen on paper, write down the answers, and the reason for that is so that you get the most out of today's episode of the JoLynn Braley Show. If you only listen to my voice, then you might get some insights, you might have some ahas, but they won't be anything like what you could get if you actually get out a piece of paper, get out a pen, and just write the questions down and then write your answers down. See what you find out. The first question to ask yourself is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how willing am I to heal the root of my ongoing food and weight struggles? On a scale of 1 to 10, exactly how willing am I to heal the root of my ongoing food and weight struggles? And that answer right there will tell you a lot. Now, this doesn't mean that you know how to do it. You're just asking yourself, are you willing to even heal this so that you can be done with it for the rest of your life? Because the way to avoid holiday stress eating is to heal the root of the whole problem, because the stress eating is not just about the holiday season. Question number 2. If I'm not willing to heal the root of the problem, then can I at least just stop criticizing myself for my unhealthy behaviors? Yes or no? If I'm not willing to heal the root of my ongoing food and weight struggles, can I at least stop criticizing myself for my unhealthy behaviors, my overeating, and my overweight? Yes or no? Because if you aren't willing to do the work that needs to be done to get to the bottom of this so that you can move on with your life, release that struggle, then number 1, you have given yourself a big insight by being honest with yourself. Okay? You're not willing to do the steps. You're not really willing to follow a proven system to heal the root of this problem so that you can not only release the stress eating, but any other unhealthy behaviors that you continue to engage in. So by being honest with yourself, you at least know where you're at. Why not give yourself the gift of being nicer to yourself? Why do you need to keep criticizing yourself and beating yourself up for where you're at right now? What if you were to just release that self-criticism, or even just a little bit of it? But you have to be willing to do that too. Number 3, if I no longer struggled with food and my weight, what would the holiday season be like for me today, right now? If I no longer struggled with food and my weight, what would the holiday season be like for me today? And then write down what you expect your holiday season would be like if you were free of the stress eating, the emotional eating, the binge eating, worrying about how you look, worrying about your weight, worrying about what other people are thinking of you. If you could just be free, if you could just be free of all of that muckmire, all of that heavy emotional weight and the physical weight, and enjoy the holiday season, what would it be like? And write down all the details. What would you do? Where would you go? What would you wear? What would you eat? If you could live in freedom from your fears about getting fat from eating food, if you could live in freedom from your food and weight struggles, what would you eat? You might find that a lot of the things that you're eating right now during the holiday season, you wouldn't even eat them because you really don't even like them. You just eat them because you think you're stressed out, you are stressing yourself out, and you might also even be thinking that you have to eat them now because if you don't, then you won't get them for another year or at any other time of year. So there's a lot more that we could look at with holiday stress eating, but then that would turn into something much bigger than a podcast, and this is just a short podcast that I'm working on getting out for you here to help you understand that your holiday stress eating is not what you have thought it was. The purpose for understanding that is part of a much bigger problem is hopefully so that you can at least stop beating up on yourself and expecting yourself to just suddenly magically change with a New Year's resolution or suddenly magically change overnight and that all of your stress eating should be gone, when the truth is that it's a bigger problem that is going to take some action on your part in order to heal the root of it. It's time for a commercial break, and today's sponsor of the JoLynn Braley Show is LoveYouThin.com. You can head on over to LoveYouThin.com and take an immediate action step towards making weight loss easier on your own with an online course titled 31 Days of Loving Yourself Thin.com. 31 Days of Loving Yourself Thin.com includes 31 full days of content to give you easy, doable action steps every day over the course of 31 days, which, when you do them, will help you love yourself thin. They will help you make weight loss easier so that you can live a healthy lifestyle without the struggle. You can find out more and start right away by going to LoveYouThin.com. Shoutouts. How to get a shout out from me on the JoLynn Braley Show. It's very, very easy. Just like our Facebook page, and then you will get a shout out on an upcoming episode with your first name only. How do you do that? Go to JoLynnBraleyShow.com. Click like on our Facebook page. It's really that simple. Now let's wrap up today's show, go over what you learned today, and wrap up the show. So, what did you learn today on this topic of how to avoid holiday stress eating? Which, by the way, again, it was Get Real episode number 12 of the year. What you learned today is that it does take getting real with yourself in order to begin to make real change in your life. As long as you continue to tell yourself that things really aren't that bad, that someday you'll lose weight, that one day you'll get it together, that maybe someday your prince will come, your prince being some magical weight loss solution, the longer you do that to yourself, the longer you're going to be living in struggle. Because the truth is, there isn't any magic. The magic is in your mindset. Once you get a weight loss mindset, then it will be easy for you to live the healthy lifestyle that you already know you need to live in order to release the fat and keep it off. It will feel like magic once you have the right mindset, which is what I help my coaching clients get in the Inner Self Diet. And you did learn that you can take an immediate action step towards the full, complete solution, which is getting a full weight loss mindset, putting all of your food and weight struggles behind you. And your first action step is found at discovery-session.com. You also learned that holiday stress eating is really not about the holidays. If you are a holiday stress eater and you find yourself overeating and stuffing yourself during the holiday season, routinely gaining an extra 10, 20 pounds every year, and then telling yourself that you're going to suddenly just make a New Year's resolution and drop the fat, and you can see by your results over your lifetime that that's never worked for you to give you permanent weight loss. The point here is that it's not about holiday stress eating. You have a stress eating, emotional eating, binge eating, overeating problem that runs throughout your entire life. So if you blame it on the holidays, what happens is you never actually get to the real problem. And the solution to all of this, so that you're no longer a holiday stress eater, so that you can go through the holiday season and not gain weight, so that you can live through the holiday seasons, whether that's Christmas and Thanksgiving, or whether we're talking about the 4th of July. I mean, any holiday season could be an excuse to binge and overeat. What if you had a weight loss mindset that allowed you to just be normal? Normal meaning that you eat when you're hungry, you stop when you're full, it's just not a big deal any longer. What if you lived like that? How would your life be different? Okay, so be sure to head on over to the JoLynnBraleyShow.com. Click like to like our Facebook page. You'll get a shout out from me on an upcoming show. If you are subscribed in iTunes, that is awesome. Go ahead and give the show a 5-star rating, and along with that, give us a 5-star review. We would love to hear your biggest aha that you have received from the show. Tell us how your awareness has shifted away from diet mentality, always thinking that a food diet would solve your food and weight struggles, how your mindset has shifted from listening to the JoLynn Braley Show to the truth that your struggles are 90% mindset. Tell us how this has impacted your life and what your results are. Next week's episode, giving yourself the gift of permanent weight loss. This is JoLynn Braley, weight loss mindset expert, the FAT release coach, and you have been listening to the JoLynn Braley Show. You can find out more in my free 5-day e-course, where you will discover whether or not your mindset is fit or fat, and also discover what's really been stopping you from losing weight for good, and then what you can do about it. You can grab that at fearlessfatloss.com. Here's to your best life in your ideal body.